Hare making the dust of the Vaishnava's feet the ornament of my body, ecstatic love comes. Washing the Vaishnava's lotus feet is my method of worship. By always associating with the Vaishnavas, I shall overcome the darkness of ignorance. Oh Srila Sanatana Goswami, oh Srila Rupa Goswami, you are two deep well of the nectar of pure love, two personifications of the splendid nectar of the divine couple, and two desire trees by whose mercy the entire world is free from suffering. All glories to you. In your books, you two great souls clearly describe Prema Bhakti. You are reservoirs of the sweet nectar of the divine couple. Hearing about you brings bliss to the heart. Their sweet mellows are my shelter. You are fabulously wealthy, possessing ecstatic love for the youthful divine couple, a love more precious than gold purified in 10,000 flames. O Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, all glories to you. I beg you, please give me in charity some of these jewel necklaces. I shall eternally engage in the ninefold process of devotional service, which is the essential message of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I shall not worship the demigods. Oh, brother, I say to you, devotional service is the most exalted kind of worship. Making the words of the Gurus, Sadhus, and Shastras one with my heart, I constantly float and swim in the ocean of pure love. I am different from the Karmis and Gyanis who have no devotion for Krishna. Narottam speaks the truth. Sri Narottam Acharya Prabhu ki
Jai. Non, c'est en
Bluetooth.
Ouais.
Bluetooth.
Tu l'as déjà installé?
C'est pour...
Tu vas projeter un truc sur internet, n'est-ce pas?
Non, non. Juste un database, mon propre bureau.
Ok.
Il y a
Du coup,
plus
il faut un
de
HDMI.
câble HDMI.
S'il doit y en avoir un autre de côté.
Ouais, hein. À moins qu'il faut que je fasse quelque chose de spécial en Bluetooth.
Non, non. Si tu projettes pas sur internet, c'est pas la peine.
En Bluetooth, tu peux ajouter un appareil.
Ouais, peut-être tu...
Oh,
Ouais.
yes,
J'ai envoyé.
yes.
Faire.
First you.
Ouais, ça va le faire, je pense.
J'ai cliqué père.
Attends. Parce que t'as pas... Il y avait un code à rentrer.
Je sais pas, moi, il y avait un...
Non? Audio connecté.
Et Bluetooth connected.
Ouais.
There is music connected. Et on a mis connecté un appareil Bluetooth, on a choisi que c'était un écran. Oh. Oh, device connected to HDMI 3.
Ça marchait avant, hein?
Oui, c'est connecté au HDMI 3, mais je sais pas si tu as une idée de sélectionner HDMI.
Avant, je me rappelle, j'avais réussi à connecter
Non, mais
l'ordi.
c'est connecté, mais il faut aller sur HDMI. Là, c'est HDMI 1. Là, c'est marqué HDMI 3, c'est ça.
aérienne de lutte contre les incendies en France.
Hare Krishna.
Oui.
Gigantesque incendie en Gironde avait annoncé une promesse, hein, il voulait
Oh là là, mais c'est atroce de tout ça de cette télé.
Ce sera rien entre nous,
Oh là là.
parce que vous ne m'intéressez pas.
Goranga,
Vous ne m'intéressez
Goranga,
pas, et je
Goranga.
ne vous aime pas. Et si jamais vous reposez...
Waouh.
Sinon, on peut avancer.
Ces trucs-là, il faut les anticiper un petit peu.
La dernière fois, je pouvais juste brancher avec le câble, ça reconnaissait directement. Ça m'étonne que ça fonctionne pas.
Je vais débrancher. Vous m'avez eu un message quand j'ai branché.
Non, je vais faire la même chose.
Device connected to HDMI 3 ARC e-ARC.
Il faut qu'on bloque là-dessus.
Ça a l'air de plus de
D'habitude, vous ne pouvez pas connecter un ordinateur?
Souvent, c'est avec le Chrome. On a un truc qui casse avec Chrome et on peut casser directement la page Chrome.
Ouais, mais personne n'utilise d'ordinateur?
Non, je sais pas.
Peut-être changer le HDMI, parce que là c'est HDMI 3. Peut-être le prix c'est HDMI 3.
Ok.
Oh, HDMI 1, c'est marqué. Je crois que c'est bon, hein. Ouais, HDMI 1.
Oh, it's coming.
I'm going to game bar.
Game bar.
HDMI 1 ou 2.
Oh,
Ouais, c'est bon, hein. Là, c'est bon.
Hare Hare.
Merci beaucoup. Faudra que tu me dises
C'est
comment
l'heure du petit déj.
Ok. Donc, today we do the verse number 14 from the chapter 9 of the 9th canto.
13 and 14.
Yes, so I'm just reciting myself this verse and then we will do the other one together. Asmi bhutanga sangena svajata sagarat majja kim puna shraddhaya devim sevante yidhrita vratam. Simply by having water from the Ganges come in contact with the ashes of their burnt bodies, the sons of Sagara Maharaj were elevated to the heavenly planets. Therefore, what is to be said of a devotee who worships Mother Ganges faithfully with a determined vow? One can only imagine the benefit that accrues to such a devotee. Number 14. Then this one we can recite together. Nahi etat paramacharyam
Nayetat paramacharyam
Svardunyayat hihoditam
Svardunyaya diyoditam
Ananta charanam bhoja
Ananta charanam bhoja
Prasutaya bhavochida.
Prasutaya bhavachida.
Your turn.
Nayetat paramashtaryam
Nayetat paramacharyam
Svadunyaya nivoditam
Svardunyaya niyoditam
Ananta charanam bhoja
Ananta charanam bhoja
Asutaya vavachida
Nahi eta paramam ascharyam.
Nayetat paramacharyam
Vardunyayad ahoditam.
Svardunyaya niyoditam
Ananta charamam boja.
Ananta charanam bhoja
Rashutaya bhavachidaha.
Prasutaya bhavachida.
Nahi
Etat Paramaschayam Sardunyaya Dihoditam Ananta Charanam Bhoja Rasutaya Bhavachida.
Word for word. Na,
Not,
he,
indeed,
etat,
this,
param,
ultimate,
acharyam, wonderful thing, svaldunya, of the water of the Ganges, Yat, which, Iha, herewith, Uditam, has been described, Ananta, the Supreme Lord, Charanam Bhoja, from the lotus of the feet, Rasutaya, of that which emanates, Bhavachida, which can liberate from material bondage. Translation by His Divine Grace of Vaishnava Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Because Mother Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, He is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described herewith about her is not at all wonderful. It has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganges simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. This is the effect of bathing in the water of the Ganges. Bathing in the Ganges is recommended in all Vedic Shastras, and one who takes to this path will certainly be completely freed from all sinful reactions. The practical example of this is that the sons of Maharaj Sagar went into the heavenly planets when water from the Ganges merely touched the ashes of their burnt bodies. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Ganangara Sadakaya Chakshuruntam Yena Tasme Shigulave Namaha Shishitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Svayam Rupam Kadamayam Datati Svapodam Tikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Actually, during my precipitation, I forgot to do the invocation. So you can just sing at least one time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So here, really interestingly, you see Jai Jai Shri Nitai Sachi Sutta, Shri Radha Parisisvara, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mani Sudarshan Sankara.
Jai.
So you see, first it requires a little bit of depth to understand the purport of the verse, because here Vamanadev is basically called Anantadev. Ananta is generally referred to Ananta Shesh. But here Ananta refers to Vamanadev because Ananta means infinite, and when Vamanadev appeared, he extended his feet to an infinite degree. So that's why he's called like that. His feet are unbelievably infinite. They can become like that. Anantadev can be called like that. And when the verse this says, whatever is described here about her, means Ganga, is not at all wonderful, means actually we should not be surprised of the glories of Ganga Devi. Because whatever is connected to the Lord is miraculous. So we call that Kemutya Nyaya. That means the logic of comparison. For example, there is a verse in the 6th canto, or just before actually, just the verse before is you use the method of Kemutya. Kemutya means a question. So if this is like that, what to speak of this? For example, if Gange Devi comes in contact of the burned ashes and elevate people to Svarga, what to speak of someone who is faithfully living, bathing in the Ganges with prayerful mood? Then he will reach Vaikuntha. That's the implication then. So it's really regularly used in the Bhagavatam, throughout the Bhagavatam. For example, in Ajamil, here is a verse mentioned which says, Ajamilo Piyagadama. The verse says basically, if Hajamil, by just chanting one name of Narayan, went to Vaikuntha, even though he didn't mean it, then what to speak of those who are chanting the holy name of the Lord with faithful intention? So the implication is basically to create some wonder in the person who is reading. Like, wow, I want to be faithful. So here the glories of Ganga Devi is actually stated, and we have to know that Prabhupada is speaking by realization, because doing some search yesterday I realized that Prabhupada during the last year of his life on earth, 77th, there were a Kumbh Mela in Prayag, and despite his health condition, despite his tremendous bodily pain, he went to the Kumbh Mela to take bath in the Ganges. So Prabhupada has faith in the healthy medicine of bathing in the Ganges water, of the sacred river. He would bathe regularly. Actually, wherever there were a Kumbh Mela organization, he would go there and he would bathe. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also showed some example of the power of Ganga Devi. He would bathe 3 times daily in the Ganges in Navadvip when he was there in Bengal. So 3 times per day. I've seen one devotee, maybe you know His Holiness Shivaram Swami. So he lives nearby Jalangi and he bathes also every day there. So if you can see, he has challenged recently in his YouTube account to do 10 kilometers of swimming. Before, a few months ago, he did 15 kilometers, and he's 77 years old. I don't know if you know what is 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers by swimming in the cold river, but it's really, really, really a performance, especially at 77 years old. When I go to the swimming pool here, I challenge myself to do 1 kilometer. And basically it takes 1 hour and a half. And non-stop, and really full force. So if he's doing 10 kilometers, then it actually, even for a good swimmer, takes at least 10 hours of swimming. So 77 years old, but we can guess maybe this is because also he likes swimming, but because also he bathes regularly at Prabhupada in Ganges. So it cures. So actually the glories of the Ganges are recounted throughout the Bhagavatam. From the first canto, Ganges is there, because as soon as Parikshit Maharaj decided to retire and to attain salvation, he go through the bank of the Ganges to listen from Shukadev Goswami. So the Bhagavatam is actually recited just on the bank of the Ganges. Then the third canto, Kapila Dev shows example by establishing his Kapila Ashram at Gangasagar, where the Ganges meets. Then on the fourth canto, there is also glorification of Ganges by Lord Shiva. Tadagangrestava kirtitirtaya antarvaisnana vidvidapappanam Udajvan kusha susadva shilanam satsangamunugraishanastava. It basically means, my dear Lord, this is the prayers he tries to teach to the Prachitas, and he basically says, my dear Lord, may I be in association with the devotees who have been purified by bathing in the Ganges, who are free from deceptiveness, who are good in character and compassionate to all living entities and pure in mind. May I be in their association so I can hear the glories of the Lord, who are like the Ganges, who can purify without and within. So like that. So in the 5th canto, you can find again some glorification of the Ganges till the end. Actually, in each canto you can find glories of the Ganges. So it is said even, as Ganges is the best of the river, Krishna says, similarly this Bhagavad Puran is the best of the books. So like that. So when we hear about the Ganges, then we may wonder, is there any other thing that I should do when I'm going into a place of pilgrimage? Do I just need to bathe to attain salvation? In the Padma Puran, and Adi Shankaracharya says in his Ganga Stotra, Nashtakam about Ganga Devi, he says, just by merely sipping one drop of Ganga water, then you can attain eternal residence in Vaikuntha. So maybe I don't need much association with the devotee. I just can go here, do some tourism, take some Ganga water, and that's it. But strangely, something in the Bhagavatam is more stressed than the Ganges. And I give you a hint, maybe you can tell me what. You have no idea?
Listening to the pure devotee.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much,
So we are better than the Ganges here.
Yes. It says actually, Ganesh Vabhigyeshu Saiva Gokala. The one who goes into a place of pilgrimage but does not associate with the sadhus and just simply go there to visit and bathe there in the holy waters is like an ass or a cow. And Krishna saying that in the sage, to the sages in Kurukshetra in the 10th canto. So it's really powerful words. It's actually diminishing the glories of the Ganges indirectly, because Krishna says Ganges is glorious, but more than that is the association of my devotees. So basically, I just want to do a quick comparison together. You can see. So I just want to do a quick comparison of the mercy given by the sadhus and the mercy given by the Ganges, so we understand which one is more important and why. So, you know, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ridyantas Named Vishyustina Priya Samvam Sarvateshu Vishyustina Priya Yebajanti Tumam Bhaktya Vaiteteshu Chatyaham. The devotees are my heart, Krishna says. But Mother Ganga is the feet of Krishna. So what is more important, the feet or the heart? So like this, if you associate with the sadhus, you actually associate with the heart. So I just want to do some heart of Krishna here. That's one first understanding. Actually, not even feet of Krishna, but feet of Vishnu. So you can see the difference of intimacy between the sadhus and the feet of Vishnu. And something more is that in the Bhagavatam it's mentioned Satam prasanga mama virya samvido bhavanti rit karna rasayana katana. Utejvan Tad Dashvapalga Vatmani Shardara Tir Bhakti Yoga initiative. So basically, Ashvapavarga means really soon. How it says also, Sajuridi Avarudyate. When you hear the Krishna Katha from the lotus mouth of the devotees, then immediately Krishna is captured. Satam Prasanga Mama Virya Samvido. There are wonderful activities and the potency of the activities of Krishna Katha, when delivered by the mouth of pure devotees, can deliver one quickly. And elsewhere, it is said a few times in the Bhagavatam that Yatna Labda Sangam Yatna Langam, the Sanskrit is the verse says Harati Ajunta Shutibi Argatum Gajan. When we hear from the devotees, it actually purifies the heart through the roots. But this is not so when you go to bathe in the holy river like the Ganges. You need a long time and repetitive procedure to get purified to the same extent. So actually sadhus, they purify to the root. Purify sins to the root. How? By giving Bhakti Devi. But Ganges is actually generally in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it says it stimulates Shanta. Shanta is associated with moksha and liberation from sins. So when you bathe in the Ganges, you can be liberated from all your sins. But does it necessarily give you prema bhakti? Not necessarily. It is slow. According to the verse, it's only after a repetitive and long time that we can be purified till the root. So, Mother Ganges purification purifies sins, but not the root. And it is a quick purification from the sadhus, but when it comes to the Ganges, it is slow purification. And why? Because sadhus, they are said to give Bhakti Devi. Shraddha Bhakti, Shraddha Ratir Bhakti Yoga. So sadhus give the seed of bhakti. But is there any mention by Srila Prabhupada or the Shastra that Ganges give the seed of bhakti? No, it's not mentioned. So sadhus give the seed of bhakti, but Ganges, as you pour water on the seed, then grows the plant of bhakti. So it's two different things as well. Sadhu can give the seed of Bhakti Devi. But when it comes to the Ganges, it simply nurture Bhakti Devi. So it's two different things. Generally, those who bathe in the Ganges are mostly impersonal. If they don't associate with devotees, their conception won't be changed like that. You need a devotee to switch from impersonal to personal. So, sadhus, they are there to personally to change your conception of God, to make it personal. At least devotees. But Ganges cannot instruct you. Ganges cannot tell you the glories of the Lord. Ganges won't interfere with your independence. It's really impersonal. You do what you want. So, actually, in this verse, Atam Prasanga Mama Virya Samvido, in the purport, it says that the sadhus, they are special, even more than the Lord, because they can interfere with your independence. So, we don't like to be interfered with, but when the sadhu cut through our ignorance and illusion, even though it's maybe painful, it's useful. But Ganga Devi is not so merciful that she wants to interfere with your independence. She won't shake you and she won't say this anartha, this anartha, this anartha, do that, do this. No, that's the business of the sadhus. So the sadhus instruct. They are active purification, I would say. But Ganga Devi is really passive purification. Actually, one thing I can also compare is if you went to bathe in the Ganges, it's very cold, especially in the morning in the winter. But if you associate with the sadhus, they are really warm because they make you dance. So even you like to transpire. If you are a lot in the temple, it may even be sometimes suffocating. So much movement. So it's warm, and it means as well it's full of bliss. But tapasya, just to bathe in the Ganges, is really austere. It's not like the ananda that you have when you dance and chant with the devotees. So there is some ananda, and there it's more like tapasya. So that's just a comparison for you to understand the glories of the sadhus and association compared to the Ganges. And one may think, if he's an impersonalist, that I may just only need to bathe in the Ganges. But a devotee will try to make him understand that he needs the association of the sadhus, and especially Bhakti Devi, because everybody is interested to serve, but they are serving the wrong persons, and therefore they're getting the wrong results. Everybody is looking for love and happiness, but they don't go to the right place. But it says in the Upanishad that Yadvaitat raso vesa edvayam edvaranti bhavati, that the Supreme Absolute Truth is actually full of rasa. And one who attains this rasa have unending bliss. So if you look at the Bhagavatam carefully, then at the end of the Bhagavatam you have understand something. Krishna is the source of all rasas. And if I become his devotees, then I will have unending bliss. So if you go in life looking for happiness without bhakti ras, but only mundane ras, you will only end up doing what we call bhogatyag. Bhogatyag means enjoyment and detachment. Means during the week I'm trying to restrain my senses, I work hard, and during the weekend I enjoy the results of my work. But I'm never satisfied like that, so I'm always trying to change the condition. I always try to change the situation with my family. Maybe I can have more children, maybe I can invite my grandparents, maybe I can have a better home, maybe I can have a better motor car, maybe I can go on holidays. All this is fine, but without Krishna consciousness will not really work for a long time, because those mundane rasas, the mundane enjoyment we derive from only material relationship is really limited, because when you don't go to the root of happiness, when you don't go to the root of eternal relationship deprived of any vices, then without that you cannot be happy. Krishna is there always trying to fulfill your desires, and he has only one thing in his mind, your interest. And your interest resides in serving him. Because we don't want that, we serve other people. Why we derive happiness from service? Prabhupada says in the introduction of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one important thing. People are serving because they can attract the attention of those they are serving. If I'm serving Krishna, I attract the attention of Krishna. If I'm serving my family, I attract the attention of my family. So that's actually the secret behind service. When you attract the attention of someone, then you receive a reciprocation, and it fulfills your heart. You derive some purpose in your life, some meaning, and some also emotional fulfillment. That only Krishna can relate to you so perfectly that he constantly elevates you and surprise you and attract you. So those who are bathing in the Ganges, they don't experience happiness actually. Maybe peace, but not ras. And in the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Ras says, actually he has a super expression. He says, Bhakti Ras is Krishna conscious lifestyle. So, if you want to be Krishna conscious, actually it means just Bhakti Ras lifestyle. So, Rupa Goswami is the disappearance day, and is our Rasa Acharya. Amongst all the Tattva, Rasa can be the most complicated, even more than Guru Tattva, even more than Shiva Tattva, even more than Achintya Veda Tattva. It's really, Rasa Tattva is the epitome of the Vaishnava philosophy. It's actually Rupa Goswami who have been entrusted the work of building the philosophy of Bhakti Ras. Because you have to understand, before his magnum opus, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there were not so much emphasis of understanding rasa from a spiritual point of view. It was understood mainly through the medium of someone called Bharat Muni, and he is the author of Natya Shastra. Means Natya Shastra is all things related to theater, dance, and things like this. So Bharat Muni establishes 10 rasas. So he is the one actually saying there is, in his Natya Shastra you can find there is 5 rasas per simple, from a nectar to display, and on scene he can also display secondary rasas. And he makes things like this. And before, to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we study the life of Rupa Goswami, he was a great follower of theater. He would like to attend devotional theater, and he will know really nicely how a theater should be made to invoke even mundane rasa in the heart. So Bharat Muni is the one who theorized rasa, but he speaks from a point of view of theater and from a point of view of mundane rasa. So at that time it was difficult to speak about bhakti rasa. But Rupa Goswami, with the help of certain predecessors like Gopadev, who told that actually bhakti rasa is also one rasa, he tried to change the perception of rasa, and he introduced bhakti rasa as actually the root of all rasa, including mundane rasa. Mundane rasa are only perversion of bhakti rasa. Bhakti Ras is actually exchange, divine exchange, spiritual exchange from the spiritual world. When it descends in this world, when rasa is not directed to Krishna, to the source, but to some sparks, to his energies, marginal energies, living entities, then it becomes mundane. Krishna at the center is Bhakti Ras, Krishna not at the center is mundane Ras. So this Krishna consciousness movement is actually based on a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavitamati. And Prabhupada says he derived the title of his Krishna consciousness movement from this verse. Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavitamati means to be always immersed in Bhakti Ras, means Krishna consciousness. So we need to understand this, and we need to read carefully Rupa Goswami's teaching to understand this. One of the first instruction from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj to his disciple Srila Prabhupada was, you have to study Nectar of devotion. Then later on, just before to leave to the US, actually the person who gave the necessary insurance to Prabhupada to go to the West was Rupa and Sanatana. Because when he was brooming into the Radha Damodar temple in the courtyard, crying for some help, then Rupa and Sanatan appeared to Srila Prabhupada. He explained himself to his disciple in one occasion. And Rupa and Sanatan told, you continue to translate your Bhagavatam. We will help you, we will inspire you, and you take it abroad. So it's actually under the care of Rupa and Sanatan that Prabhupada was entrusted with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur blessing the mission to go in the West. Therefore, Prabhupada could do any miracles. Prabhupada could achieve anything he wanted, because Rupa Goswami is the recipient of unending mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because even though he was the little brother of Sanatana Goswami, he was educated in the higher subtleties of Krishna Bhakti, means Ras. So because Rupa Goswami was acquainted with Bhakti Ras, this Tattva, he was considered the Acharya amongst the all Goswamis. Because this Tattva is the most difficult Tattva. And Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in his Sanskrit words, I hope this work will be able to overcome all in Sanskrit, Mimamsaka. Mimamsaka means someone who likes to split hair. Someone who likes to speak about grammar. You know, for example, in Navadvip at the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a teacher of grammar, Sanskrit grammar. And what the Sanskrit grammar they do, you say some truth about something, about Krishna, but the Sanskrit grammar, he will say, what you say is wrong because this word should be said like that according to that rule in Sanskrit. So, what you say is nice, but the construction of your phrase is not good. So you cannot actually give the truth. So I will tell you how to construct the phrase correctly. So they will pray with grammar. This is the Mimamsakas. Mimamsakas, they will like to pick deficiency in your Sanskrit construction and just on that base, destroy all your argumentation. So Rupa Goswami says, I hope the Mimamsakas will be overcome and won't be able to touch anything from my work. Not only that, but you have to understand, as I said, Bharat Muni was the authority in terms of Ras at the time of Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, rasa was understood from the perspective of Natya Shastra, means theater. It was not Bhakti was not considered as a ras. So Rupa Goswami was expecting everybody to tell him, who are you, like an authority to contradict Bharat Muni? Who are you to say he's wrong? Even though from centuries we follow his theory on rasa. And not only that, but you have to understand that at the time of Rupa Goswami, it was the Mughal times. And every Mughal emperor, not all, but almost all of them, especially Aurangzeb, who will find that a sadhu would write Vaishnava scripture, he would burn the scriptures and the Vaishnava with it. So Rupa Goswami and the Goswami had to hide under trees to write, to avoid their writings to be destroyed. And by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this magnum opus of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from Rupa Goswami is still present there. It has been protected by the acharyas, and we can derive the proper philosophy from rasa and understand that relationship with Krishna is actually the sublime form of happiness that the soul is hankering for. Without fulfilling this search, we will end up navigating in the world looking for one thing after another and being always in distress. So I want to stop there. Thank you, Rupa Goswami, for delivering ourselves and sending Srila Prabhupada to us. Thank you, Rupa Goswami, for having done the great task of writing all this for us at the cost of his life. And thank you, Rupa Goswami, to be such a great example of Vaishnava so that we can be proud of our Sampradaya. Srila Rupa Goswami ki
Jai.
Shri Mother Ganga Devi ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna.
So if you have any question, otherwise it's already 9, so there is possible.
One clarification, I heard there was 5 main rasas and 7 secondary.
7, yes.
And you mentioned that there was 10.
Oh yes, because
So was it a
Bharat,
different classification?
Bharat Muni in his work did not include Vatsalya and did not include as well Sakya.
In the main rasas he...
He did not. And this later has been added and by other people who will comment on that. And even some acharyas like Kavi Karnapur, they had 2 more rasas. They had Prema Ras and Bhakti Ras on top of the 12. But Rupa Goswami just stick to 12. He actually his understanding of rasas is picked and built from other contribution from the past. So he did not invent everything himself, but he directed those understanding toward Krishna. So yeah. So Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Revatinandana Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai Prabhupada.